ñëw leen ak jàmm ci rajo Vagabond ñëw leen ak jàmm ci rajo Vagabond.
Meet Palebo, a digital nomad from Denmark on an epic journey around the world.
My name is Palebo, and I'm a long-time radio producer. In 2013, I started planning to become a digital nomad and a full-time traveler. 3 years later, I had sold my house, my car, and all my furniture. And in July 2016, I set out on a quest to visit every country in the world. In this podcast, I'm taking you along on my journey, and I'm sharing my ups and downs and let you listen in to conversations with some interesting people I meet along the way.
This is the Radio Vagabond podcast.
This episode is brought to you in part by this website called hotels25.com. And this is a cool website. It helps you find the cheapest hotel rooms around the world. Hotels25.com. You should try it out. It actually works. When I left you in the last episode, I arrived to Dakar, the capital of Senegal, with my travel buddy, Edward. And in last week's episode, you could hear us having lunch with a local woman in her apartment with her 2 boys, her maid and her driver. It all took place around the coffee table where we all, with a spoon, were eating of the same plate. A very different experience. We also celebrated Christmas and did a lot of work. We're both digital nomads. Edward is a startup coach, and I was busy doing the final tweaks on the Lego Technique podcast about their model of the Bugatti Chiron. Interviews I did when I was in Europe needed to be edited and mixed into 9 episodes of this podcast that you can listen to in your podcast app. Just search for the Lego Technique podcast. When we didn't work, we took time to explore the city. One of the things that's a must-see when you're in Dakar is the African Renaissance Monument, Monument de la Renaissance Africaine, a big bronze statue around 150 feet on a hill. It's designed by a Senegalese architect and built by a, wait for it, North Korean company. Actually, it reminds me of the monuments I saw when I was in Pyongyang in North Korea. Many Senegalese were very unhappy with it and protested in the thousands when it was built in 2006. Partly because they feel it's ugly, but probably most of all because it was super expensive, 27 million US dollars, money that could have been spent on improving the lives of the many poor people in the country. But now it's here, and I must say that it is impressive. Dakar is an easy city to be in, even though it's a big advantage if you can speak a little bit French. I had French in school, but later when I had Spanish, my French disappeared. The 2 languages are so much in family that in the beginning I was mixing them up, and later when my Spanish improved, my French was pushed out. Well, I thought so, because my time in Northwestern Africa showed me that actually there were a few French words, even some full sentences that surfaced, even though it's very limited how much I've used the language in the last 35 years. Dakar is modern, but definitely not super modern. For example, we saw a cow walking freely around the streets in the middle of the city. And you can also see that we're still close to the Sahara Desert because there's sand everywhere. It's the westernmost city of the African mainland, and all the way out on the tip, at the westernmost point, there's a market with local art. When we were there the first time, we started talking to a local artist. He had some amazing paintings. He showed us around the area, and I had this thought that he looked like a rapper. And he was. The last night in Dakar, we were back at this point to see the sun setting in the Atlantic Ocean, and then we meet him again. His name is Goff.
Well, Goff is my artist name.
The artist name,
Yes, it's my artist name.
And you're a painter, and then I said, well, I bet you're a rapper too.
Yeah, I'm a rapper, I'm a painting, I'm a drummer, you know. And my vibes is ragandaga vibes, you know.
What?
It's ragandaga vibes.
What is that?
It's a vibes with African beat, in African rhythm, African percussion, you know.
Yeah.
Yes, it's just like a tak 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 takanaga tak takun tak taganaga tumpak bili 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 ruba deng kom ali bili bili maruba deng kom raganaga maxi vibes.
I like that. And I really like your paintings as well. You're truly an artist, I can tell.
Yes, I'm trying, but art is our, African culture. We have to show it all over the world, and we have a work to do for Africa. We are youth, and we're trying our art to our culture to promote African culture all over the world.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dakar is a very musical city. For example, the world-famous Youssou N'Dour is from here. And like Youssou N'Dour, Goff is also born and raised right here.
Yeah, I'm born in Dakar. I born near the city of Medina, like Youssou N'Dour, where they born. Our city is Gueltapé, is near Medina,
Yeah.
and we have the same generation, we have the same culture, we're doing the same thing, and we love art, we love culture,
You are listening to the Radio Vagabond, and that is truly amazing because there's so many choices out there. There are so many great podcasts, and you chose to spend some time with me. I cannot tell you how much that means to me. Thank you so much.
But the best part of living in Senegal, is maybe sometimes the people, they love Dakar. But sometimes I see nice life in and out of Dakar, the capital, Some people, they love Dakar. Like me, sometimes when I go to Casamance, when I go to the island like Sine, Salum, something like that,
There's
it's
some
very
beautiful
nice.
nature here in this country.
Very nice and natural culture, Maybe sometimes they need money, that's why they come in downtown in Dakar. But me, I'm a boy town, I born in Dakar, but I really love Casamance and I'm in different island of something like that, in Sine Salum, in Januar, something like that. I really love this island, It's very nice.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's me. I really love living in Senegal. I have a wife here. I have children here. I built my house here. I trust my art. I work. I give some people to put it out in the foire, something like that, out of here. And I love Senegal. I'm different than the children who want to take a boat out of here, out of Babylon, something like that. I trust my African culture. I trust my creation. And I love Senegal. You see in my hand, I get some Senegal.
Yeah, you're a Senegal fan.
I'm a Senegal fan,
Yeah.
And I'm an African fan too, You see African map on my, that's why I love Africa. I really love Africa,
How is Senegal different from the countries in this area?
But Senegal is different than the other countries, but, we get something like the Lebu. Yeah, the Lebu, is the people, is the fishing people. And they are the first people who come in Dakar here. And they welcome all the people out of Dakar coming from as a different place in Senegal. And they was lovely people. They welcome you, they teach you how to work, fishing, something like that. And they give you a wife if you like. And they welcome you in Dakar. And the first, when they say Senegal is a triangle country, it's come from the Lebu. It's the Lebu is the fisher. It's the fishermen. Them ancestor is chaos. It's come from Egypt. It's the first black people who come here and running out of to be Muslim. And they come here like, they don't want to be Muslim like the Tikroot, something like that, the royal of Egypt. They don't want to be Muslim, and then why they come here in Senegal. And we Lebu, they welcome, they teach us how the teranga in Senegal. Senegal people, they have time for everything. They have time to show you. When you ask them a way, they have lose them what they're doing and show you the way. It's the way to give a love of people, That's why in Senegal we have love, we have smile,
Yeah.
We have time for other people, That's why Senegal is a triangle country. But this mind is come from our ancestors, it's Lebu.
Yeah.
You can see in Senegal, you never see Christian or Muslim fighting.
That's something I observe because I've traveled in a lot of Muslim countries, and I see here that even though there are much more Muslim than Christians, you live side by side and respect each other's faith and don't interfere, and it's all peaceful.
That's great. That's great. That is something we get from our ancestors before we born.
Yeah.
You know, it's the first work our ancestors do before we born. You know, I tell you, Senegal, we get some Lebu, and they don't want to be Muslim first. They run out of here to be Lebu, something like, and we just have a love. Yeah. That's why Senegal is a peaceful country between Christian and Muslim, and that's why we believe our roots, and our roots can make us to live in together. You are Christian and Muslim, but you know, we are African, we Senegalese. You know, that's something really I appreciate in Senegal. That's why I love the vision of Senegal. Maybe our region, you know, they don't know what really is Senegal, but Senegal is the best country in the world, really, you know. Yeah, that's what I say, me. Yes.
How many children do you have?
I have 4.
4?
Yes.
Wow. How old are
I'm
you?
a champion. I'm 40, you know.
Really? I thought 30, 35, and then they'll have
I'm
4.
a trainer. I train. I like swimming in the beach. You know, we have the beach side. You know, I train. I play football.
Boys or girls?
Boy, I have 3 boys and 1 girl.
Yeah. And how old are they?
But the first one is 40. And after I have Bibi Nogay, I have a sing from her, Bibi Nogay Nyawatina Choki in that side, you know, she loves to sing. Yeah. And she's 9, yes, she got 9 years old. And after I have Mohammed, she's 16, and after Pamusa, she's 40. 40 years, you know. And I really love them, you know.
Yeah.
They are
What's your dreams for them in the future?
But I dreamed of them just to learning Quran or learning, you know, is this time they learn French, but they learn French and Quran and Arab, you know. I just make them learn. But me, I was good in school, but after I continue my work in the art. If I don't know, I go to the art school, you know. But it's different, you know. But something time is just helping me to speak like the good English, something like that. And, you know, we must learn. Africa have work to do for the world. You know, we have to open our children's brain and to do not to do. Sometimes Samba, my children tell me, Father, you born Wolof, you know, you grow up Wolof. But if you want to be smart, you have to be good in French. Yeah. And you say me, Father, you free. You know, you are not free. You have to do the mathematics in Wolof and try something, do it in Wolof that we are working on.
What does Wolof mean?
Well, Wolof is the language.
Oh, that's right.
It's our Senegalese language. Yeah. You know, my children tell me that. They say me, Father, you know, I born Wolof, I speak Wolof every time. But if I go to school, they tell me to speak French. You know, and if I want to be someone in this city, I have to be good in French. Yeah. You know, that's why I tell you, Father, why you don't have mathematics in Wolof or something like that? You know, or geography, something you do to teach in Wolof. That's why, you know, this is a work we have to do. Yeah. You know, we have a work to do. Yeah, we have the work to do. Our children, like Babylon, they do the work for them children now. You know.
Yeah. Is it only here in Senegal they speak Wolof?
Wow, it's Senegal, you see Wolof, you know, you see many different kinds, like...
Only Senegal?
Wolof is, you know, you get it in Senegal, and some people, they get it out of Senegal, in Mali, in Gambia. Gambia is a small country in Senegal, you know, we teach them Wolof. You get it here. But Wolof, you can get Jola, we can have Serer, we have different ethnies, and they speak them language, but they speak Wolof. Wolof is the language we share in Senegal. Yeah, you get it everywhere in Senegal. Yes, and I born Wolof and I speak Wolof, and that's where I get some word in Serer, some word in Tukulur, something like that. But we leave them all of them together. But Wolof, a Tukulur can speak Tukulur and after he speak Wolof. So Serer can speak Serer and he speak Wolof. And Wolof is our communication language, you know. That's why my children ask me that, Father, I born Wolof, and if I want to be smart or want to be someone in this world, in this city or in this country, I have to be good in French. This is the question of Samba. You know. And it's really fun, you know. Yes.
This is the last night in Dakar, and tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock we're taking the bus down to Gambia, which is not that far away, but I guess it'll take 6-7 hours. We also need to get a ferry, but I don't think it's going to be that tough, but I've said that before. Right now we're at a restaurant at the most western tip of Africa. Just ordered some soup and a nice big cold local beer. The sun is setting and it's beautiful, and we've enjoyed our time here in Senegal.
This episode is brought to you in part by Hotels25.com. Whenever you need a hotel anywhere in the world, go to Hotels25.com. That would get you the best price. Hotels25.com searches a bunch of the biggest hotel sites in one simple search. Hotels25.com, it's best price guaranteed.
This is the Radio Vagabond podcast.
In 3 minutes our bus is leaving, and we're in a taxi in Dakar, and the taxi driver has no idea where he's going to find the bus stop. This is not good.
Huh? Wow. Wow.
Okay, now it's 5 minutes past, and this was the 5th time our driver stopped this taxi and asked for directions. When we got into the taxi, he said, "Oh, that's no problem. I know exactly where it is." And now we've been driving around for half an hour, and we still haven't found the bus. It's 5-6 minutes past 7, and the bus should leave at 7. We spoke to the bus driver, and hopefully he's waiting for us. If not, I'm not sure what we're gonna do.
When we finally arrived at the right bus terminal, the bus was waiting for us. And not only that, they reserved 2 seats for us in the crowded old bus. So we could just walk past all the people that were hoping that we didn't show up so they could get our seats. It was a very, very old bus. The seats were small and hard, but we got on the bus, and that was the most important thing. And soon after that, we drove towards the Gambia. A part of the experience when you're in a bus in Senegal, and probably a lot of other places in Africa, is that every time the bus stops at a bus stop or an intersection, vendors jump on the bus. In the beginning it's quite an experience, but soon it's just annoying. They're very, very noisy, and they're all selling the same snacks, fruits, sunscreen, water bottles, and other stuff. So I couldn't help thinking, when we didn't buy something from the first 25 vendors with the same things, we're probably not going to do it now. We were hoping to get a little bit of sleep on the bus, but that was simply not an option. You can see pictures of the inside of the bus and some of the many vendors on theradiovagabond.com. Next to us was an Italian girl who'd been 10 months in Dakar, and when we stopped at the border in Gambia, she spotted a monkey
and was very, very thrilled.
I saw the first monkey today. I said, my God, it's true, in 13 months I haven't seen one monkey in Senegal.
Her name is Viviane.
I'm Viviana Olivier. I'm from Italy, and I work in Dakar now for an international organization. And
A small organization called Unicef.
a small organization called Unicef. I've been living in West Africa now for 1 year, over 1 year.
Yeah, in Dakar all the time?
I'm based in Dakar, but I work for a project that is implemented in Nigeria, Chad, Cameroon, and Niger.
Okay.
So I travel also, yeah.
Okay. Can you tell me, as a Westerner, what is Senegal and Dakar? What kind of a place is that?
Well, Dakar is one, I can define it as the most European capital in Africa. At least the one I saw, and I saw quite a few. Is definitely very European. It goes from the style, the food, the supermarkets, the social interaction, the freedom. Yeah.
And I got a feeling that the system is the political system is also a bit like what we know from Europe.
Yeah, I'm not following it closely, but yes, it's definitely in terms of democracy and election and dynamics and social political interaction is really you feel like in Europe, the same possibly. Constructive polarizations or dialogue or exchange, but yeah, it's an extremely, maybe even for that, an extremely safe country and very respectful to the foreigner, both in terms of interaction, culture, way of being. Yeah, it's a really a welcoming country.
And even though it's Islamic, I have the feeling that Islamic and the few Christians, they live peacefully side by side. There are no conflicts.
Yeah, no, there is no tension, but this is true in the Gambia as well. I mean, which is kind of the same part of the Senegambia region. There is no tension, no polarization, and no intention to make that happen. And in fact, within the Islamic community, there are even nucleus of Islamic groups that are very ancient. That are linked to Morocco and to North Africa, and they are a reality in the Muslim reality, and they all live side by side, and it's beautiful to hear the different type of chanting in the night, especially outside Dakar city, in the northern part, the suburbs, so to speak. Definitely an experience to make.
Yeah. It helps if you speak a little French.
It does help, but it's not impossible. I mean, it depends. A lot of people, it is a French-speaking country and Wolof, so you can in fact meet many on the streets or taxi or sellers that do not speak French. They function in Wolof, one of the local language. If you don't speak French, then you need to use signs, but there are people that can speak English. French would help, however.
How long time do you plan to stay?
Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm really open. Some parts of me would like to be rooted there for a little longer, and sometimes I just feel I needed to go back on a plane and find another reality. But definitely Dakar is a pearl, and Senegal in itself really beautiful place to come and visit.
Thank you. That was almost it for this episode. Let me remind you that I would be so thrilled if you would give me some stars in Apple Podcast or in your podcast app. And if you have a few minutes, please write a few lines in a review. It helps other people find this podcast.
You can reach me on mail if you have any feedback or questions or tips for me on what to see and who to talk to when I get to a new destination. I promise that I'll answer any email I get on mail@theradiovagabond.com. You can follow me real time, where I am right now, on the official Facebook page, facebook.com/PalaRadioVagabond, and on Instagram and Twitter as Radio Vagabond. Find all these links at theradiovagabond.com, where you can also see a lot of pictures of everything from Gough and his art, the sunset in the Atlantic Ocean, the bus, the vendors, Viviane, and the ferry Kunta Kinte, who took us across the Gambia River to Banjul, the small capital of the Gambia. Here in Banjul, we're going to spend one night, and then we're going into the jungle, into the forest, where we're staying a few days in an amazing eco-lodge. It's going to be total digital detox, without Wi-Fi or even a phone connection. And we're going to be celebrating New Year's Eve on a nearly empty lodge.
It's 7:30. It's New Year's Eve, and I'm sitting in the bar here at the resort in Gambia. I'm the only one here. No wild party and no fireworks. We're in the forest, and it's going to be so different and so quiet.
And I'm so looking forward to that. My name's Palabo, and I gotta keep moving. See ya.